video later
Recording is
format.
on.
Sure.
Yes, yes, sure. I will share the link as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for reminding. Okay, so we are not late to record. So okay. So I was talking about this Docker image. So,
Again, screen is off.
oh,
No, no,
No,
able
no.
to see.
We were able to
able to see.
I
see
cannot
you.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's
Now it
connected.
is visible.
Okay.
Okay, you check your internet connection, I think. Okay, so we have a MySQL image. So that is the official image. You can see Docker official image. So it is by MySQL itself. So all the most of the images is already provided by this official images. So if you run any container, what happen? It is going to go to this hub.docker.com. Okay, so I will show you the container image. Just and
Sarabjit, I guess there is some interruption in the connection because we are not able to see your screen.
okay. Now actually I got
Yeah.
a call, so I am using
Yeah.
my
Now it is visible.
yep.
Thank you.
So repository is, hub.docker.com is a public repository that you have to just remember, and then it is a open source. But as I said, the enterprise edition is not open source. Okay, you have to pay for that, and it can be integrated with AWS, Azure, Ansible, and Jenkins, because when you are working in real scenario on the production side, you will see these tools: Ansible, Jenkins, Kubernetes. Okay, because we will going to work in a CI/CD pipeline where the developer is going to develop the code, and it is automatically going to deploy. So that is called continuous integration. The software is going to integrate that code in the real code, means that is running, and then it will test and automatically send to the production. Okay, if everything is fine. So there is a different session for that, means I will tell you from CI/CD pipeline from start to end how we will be deploying or delivering the application from development to production. Okay, so that is later. So we can integrate with Ansible, Jenkins, Kubernetes, and other tools as well. And AWS has its own managed what is called AWS managed instances, means you can just run the cluster within a 15 minutes. You have to just give the how many nodes and how many manager and worker nodes you need. Just you have to specify that and the RAM, and it will just spin up within a 15 minutes. Same thing with the Azure and Google as well. So Google has started this Kubernetes. Okay, so we can integrate with different tools, and we can also convert the legacy application as a container, and I will show you how we will make a image, and we will create a new image with our own, and we will run the container using that image. And main thing is why we are going to use this tool. Okay, we have already virtual machine, but why is the need? The need is because of it will reduce capex as well as opex. So it will reduce the capex, that I will show you how in the next slide, and opex you will understand later. So let's go to the next screen. So please try to understand uh, this slide, because it will change your mind, how we are going to reduce the capex. Okay, so currently if you take the left image, it has an infrastructure, hypervisor, and then virtual machine, three virtual machine, right? And then you are going to install application on these three virtual machine. But try to understand, we need some resource to run our operating system, correct? So just say this virtual machine is taking 1 GB RAM to just run its operating system. So it is going to take 3 GB RAM to run three application, but it is not useful. Means we are doing the same thing in all the virtual machine. It is just an example of three machine. If in real scenario we have thousands of machines, okay, so about 1 terabyte of RAM is just using for operating system, that is not of use. So what we are going to do, in the right hand image you can see what will happen. We will install operating system on the infrastructure, means whatever the physical machine, and then on operating system we are going to install Docker. So Docker is not going to take much RAM, it is just a very lightweight application. And host operating system, only one operating system, so it is going to take that much of time, means about it will take 1 GB RAM or 2 GB, whatever. Okay, but we have removed that operating system that we need for every application. We don't need virtual machine for every application, right? So we are going to containerize that application on the same operating system. So this application has only the needed things that require to run that application. Okay, and it these application are isolated, means this application A has no knowledge about this application B. It is connected with the network, but it is not going to share its namespace control groups. So those things I will tell you in the deep architecture session. So this application A has no uh, knowledge about application B, and so on. So we have just removed the virtual machine in from our infrastructure. So it doesn't mean like we are completely removing that virtual machine.
So,
Yes.
धीरे धीरे
Sarabjit, hello,
Mhm. Yes, yes.
hello, sir. Yeah. So, it means hyper is replacing with host operating system, right?
Yes, means we are replacing this hypervisor with host operating system. It is not like that. It is like, if we are going to install operating system on our physical machine, right? Okay, and
Host,
then
I mean host operate.
yes,
Yeah, I
on our
mean host operating system is like
yes, like we
hello.
install the operating system. Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a host operating system is like it's a install operating system on a physical machine.
Yes, yes, yes. So
Yes,
that
na?
I was
And then.
saying, we are not completely removing the virtual machine, right? Try to understand
Mm-hmm,
here.
mm-hmm.
If you need, uh, you can just mute for some time. So I will explain. So we are going to do what is, we are going to install operating system. Okay, and top of that we can install the virtual machine. But imagine, like, we mostly use web servers in our infrastructure, means you have one or two machine for SQL for high availability, but you know how many web servers are there. Like, if there is more load, you need more web servers. Okay, so mostly initial phase we are going to containerize our web application. Okay, so we need about, in my environment, we need 10 to 15 web servers for one client. Okay, it depends upon the traffic, but is still, if you are taking 10 web servers, then I have to create 10 virtual machine. Okay, instead of that, what I will do, I will create one virtual machine and I will containerize that application. Okay, I will containerize those application on the virtual machine. Okay, so I can I don't have to install for 10 virtual machine. I am just containerizing on the same virtual machine. Okay, so when it will come to the cluster part, then we can add at least most for maximum four nodes. That's it. So we will create four nodes, right? And then we will create about 10, 12, 13. It depends upon the capacity. So on four nodes I can run 12, or I think it might be 20 container. Okay, so again you are still removing some part of the virtual machine. Okay, so you are utilizing the resources. Okay, so try to understand in
Okay.
virtual machine side, for every application, means if I want to deploy application, I need one virtual machine, right? But I can
Right.
deploy multiple application or multiple instances on the same virtual machine, right? I will
Okay.
show
Got
you
it. Okay.
later lessons like how it is when we will talk about the cluster. Okay, so just keep in mind that
Mhm.
I was saying that you have to just keep in mind that we are not completely removing that virtual machine, but somehow we are removing. Okay, so just
Okay. Got
remember,
it.
and your thought will clear when we go further and take some more lessons, and I will show you. Okay, because we are going to install that Docker on virtual machine. So you think, right? So it means like we are going to work on a virtual machine. We are not completely removing, but I will create a diagram and I will show you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we need
And
to configure the high configuration on the virtual machine, right?
Yes, yes, yes. We need that. If we are working in production, we need that.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a Docker engine. So this is a simple diagram right now. This is the architecture. So first we have three components: client, Docker CLI, REST API, and Docker daemon. So we are working on this Docker CLI. It will means here you can run commands and it will call REST API. It will call to the Docker daemon, and the commands you have written, it is performed by the Docker daemon, right? So we can manage images, container, network, and data volumes through Docker CLI. So if we have a Docker community edition, we have to use Docker CLI. Else, we we can use different like enterprise. If you have enterprise, then you can manage it through web console as well. But right now, first we will start with the Docker CLI. We will install Docker community edition, and at last we will install that enterprise, because for that we need more resources, and to show you I don't have that much resource. Okay, so in this architecture you will understand, when we run this command docker run hello world, right? So what will happen? We are going to run that command on client, right? CLI. So it will make a API call to the daemon that the user wants to run a container using hello world image. So this daemon is going to search on this docker host, okay, on which your docker is installed, that the image is present locally. If not, then it will go to the hub.docker.com. It means you should have the internet connection on your host. Okay, then it will going to pull the image from hub.docker.com, and then it will run the container. Okay, so let me show you hello world image. So we have a hello world image over here. So we have some MCR hello world, some official image. So this is the official image. So you will confuse like how this will work. So what is the container? Okay, so this container is not going to do much. It is just pop up a message and it will display on your screen, okay, about the like it is mostly used for like to check your Docker installation. It is installed correctly or not. Okay, so I think let's go ahead and start one machine. So I have a Linux Academy subscription, so I can create a virtual machine over here. Okay, so I will just create one new CentOS server, and I have, I think, two. Okay, it will take about 5 minutes to create, and then I will show you how to install Docker. So mostly you don't have to do anything to run a Docker. Sorry, to install the Docker. We have some commands that we have to run on the Docker. Okay, so just let me show you this UCP that I have already installed Docker EE. So I will show you like how it looks like. Okay, I forgot to start it initially. Okay, so just what should I do? Okay, so I will show you one website where you can practice these commands. You are not able to understand much, but don't worry, you can just go through this website and you can at least run and understand. Okay, so like if I want to run a container, I will just go over here and start scenario. It will explain as well. Okay, so once, okay, so this is the website where here you can run your Docker command already. Means you don't have to install Docker. It is already installed on the instance when you create it. Okay, when you click on a start scenario, then it will create a just a terminal. Okay, so here I can run the Docker commands. So Docker search Redis. It means I want to search this image. Okay, locally. If it is not present, then it will search in the hub.docker.com. So let's hit enter. So here you can just complete this. You can, if you have time, you can go through, or you can access it from anywhere. So it's a good thing to practice. Okay, other things I will explain. If you have any question, just let me know. I will clear that. Okay, so I have this enterprise edition already started. So just let me show you the how it looks like. Okay, we are not going to do much over here. I just want to show you so to like you can understand like yeah, I have to do this because some when we see something in front of us then we mostly more curious about that. So I have just put it the public IP of my, let me, my server. Just I think, okay, sorry, I put it the wrong IP. This is the public one. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to initialize. Oh my. Okay. So it is just get showing a warning about the connection because it has a self-signed certificate. So mostly if your organization by enterprise edition, then you will work on this web console. Just give me a few minutes. Yeah. So my new machine is also ready. So when it just booted, we have to do some initial configuration. So I will do that. You don't have to worry about what I'm doing right now because it is I'm just doing a initial setup of my server. Okay, so let me check the host name. So it has host name is Sarabjit Singh 3C. Okay, so this is the host name. We are going to install Docker CE, means community edition, on this. So if currently if I run this Docker, I need to use sudo. You can see it command note from right because Docker is not installed right now. Okay, so for sorry for the confusion, I'm just going back and forth on the pages. So this is the console that you will see when you will install Docker Enterprise. Okay, so you can do the you can add the things from here, nodes, images. You can manage stacks, collections. You can also give the access control. We can create users roles and whom we can provide the role access, whom which access do you want to give to which users. So those things we can manage from here. Okay, and the main thing is when you will install Docker Enterprise, by default is going to initialize swarm mode, right? So remember, when you are installing Docker Enterprise, it is a swarm, Docker swarm. Okay, it is not a simple Docker, it is a Docker swarm. Okay, it will create some manager and uh, worker nodes. So I think that's it from for this Docker Enterprise. And
Sarojit,
let's,
sorry
yes,
to interrupt. I have a
yeah,
question. So, whenever we install, what I understand, just to, to make myself correct. So, whenever we install a Docker Enterprise edition, so
yes,
we do have Docker as well as the Docker Swarm,
no, no,
the
no,
manager.
no.
Then,
When you install Docker Enterprise, you automatically it will initialize the Swarm mode. Okay,
hmm.
means you don't have to install Docker first and then Docker Enterprise. Actually, we are going to install Docker Enterprise only. So when we are installing Docker Enterprise, it is going to initialize as a Swarm. Got it?
Sarabjit, then I'm having little confusion. Then, as what I understood is Docker Swarm is a orchestration tool, correct?
Yes, yes.
So whenever we install Docker Enterprise Edition, so it installs Docker as well as Docker SOM,
Yes, it means,
is it?
it will install the Docker, right? It will install the Docker, but it will
Mm-hmm.
initialize swarm mode. It is not means, when you are installing Docker only, then it is
Mm-hmm.
not going to initialize swarm mode by default. Okay, you have to initialize it. But if
Okay,
you are
got it.
installing Docker Enterprise, then by default
Mm-hmm.
swarm mode will be activated.
Okay, okay, I
Am
got it.
I
Okay, thank you.
got it? Okay, thank you. So just start our session now. I think this is the main session that I have want to show you. Those are the introduction. I hope you have understood a little bit of the Docker means how it is and why we are going to is main thing is you have to understand why. Okay, then we will learn the how. Okay, so why is the main thing is, uh, we are very means the technology is growing very fast, so we are, nowadays you will see in a week you got a new update for any application. Okay, every week you got a new update. So how it is like a, they are using CI/CD pipeline. These are automated, so it increase the velocity of deployment. Okay, so here we are on CentOS. So if you want to check, okay, this is a, uh, Linux server. Okay, CentOS installed, CentOS 7. So to install Docker, what we need, first thing is we need to update our registry. Okay, so we need one component or package on CentOS to be installed before prior to installing Docker C. Okay, so to install that you should have little bit knowledge of Linux, but I will explain each and every command, so don't worry. But if you have the knowledge, then it is good. So first is sudo, because we are not a root user. I am using cloud user, that is a not root user. So I have to use sudo to give the privilege to install. Okay, yum is a utility that is used to install any application on CentOS. On Ubuntu, you use apt-get. Okay, but on CentOS and Red Hat. So keep in mind, the CentOS and Red Hat, the process is same for CentOS and uh, Red Hat. But for Docker, there is a little bit, steps is little bit different for Ubuntu. So these commands and all the important things and the document reference, I will share it on weekdays. Okay, because I have to create it, right? So first is sudo yum, that is utility, and install. I want to install hyphen by, because I don't want to just it. If I don't specify hyphen by, then it will ask for the confirmation. But if I am saying hyphen by, means it is not going to ask. So let me just remove it for just sake of showing you. So then the main component that we need to install is device mapper persistent data. So this is the package that we need, because by default the CentOS is use DeviceMapper as a uh, driver. Okay, so data driver it is. And then LVM, this is the same data thing. We will talk these 2 points and when I will take session on storage and volumes. Okay, so these are used for volumes and storage. Just remember this thing. So now I haven't given the flag hyphen by, so it will ask for the confirmation that it has this much of data that is going to download, and then it will take this much of disk space to install. So for that confirmation it will ask. So here you can see this centos.hbc.tifr. Okay, so these are the repository. Okay, so here by default, uh, CentOS don't have that repository, means it don't have the knowledge where to go when we are going to install Docker. Okay, so first, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so here it is asking for confirmation. So what I was saying, so these are the repository where whenever we are installing any application or any software, then it will search that in these repository. Okay, so by default there is no repository for this Docker. So we need to add that repository in configuration manager of CentOS, that it will go to this repository when we will run that Docker command. Okay, so it will check is these repository as well. Then if it doesn't find that Docker in these repository, then it will go to the next one that we will add. Okay, so next thing is we are going to add the repository. So in the short term, just I am telling CentOS that when we are run that Docker, yum install Docker CE, then where to find. Okay, so we have a command sudo yum config manager, and then add add repo, and these commands I will share, so don't worry about, don't just waste time to remember it, because no one can do that. So it has this location, so it will go to the download.docker.com linux centos docker c.repo. Okay, so I am just going to add this repo. Oh, sorry. Mm, oh, there should be a hyphen, I think. Pop. Oops. Okay, so initially I was done the same thing. Okay, so now I think we have added that repository, and then we have a command to install. Let me clear the screen. So sudo, this is a simple command, sudo yum install. I don't want to interrupt, so I just specifying -y, and then what we are going to install, docker ce -cli. So we have to install CLI as well as daemon. Okay, so first we will install docker ce 18.09 5. So this is the version of the Docker and same version of the CLI. And this is a container d.io that is going to containerize our application. Okay, so you can see it means like my repo that I have added, it is not added correctly. Okay, so that I was talking. So if you don't add this repo, then it is not going to install. Okay, because it is no package available in this repository. So let me fix that issue first. I think there is some mistake. Actually, I am not that much kind. Okay, so it is sudo yum config manager. Okay, I think this is because of copy paste. There might be some unwanted thing goes over there. So the command was correct, but because of copy paste, it was not working. So I will just copy paste the URL. Okay, now you can see repo saved to yum, so it will save the repository to this yum.repo.d. Okay, so if you don't want to do from the command line, you can just update this file as well. Okay, now we are going to run our this command. So this command will going to install docker ce. Okay, just hit enter. So you can see how simple it is to install docker. You have to just have 3 commands and you are good to go. So if you want to just install on your virtual machine, you can do it. Just it need internet connection, so you have the internet connection on your virtual machine. So wait for some time. Okay, so it is installed. So how I will check is it installed or not? So I will just run docker and hit enter. Okay, good. So we are able to get the command now, right? Earlier there was error that no command found. But now if I have to run any command, docker run hello world, you can see cannot connect to the docker daemon, right? Why? Because I am a normal user, I am not root user. So to talk with the docker daemon, we should be a root user. So how we will fix it? So next thing is to fix that issue. So if I run sudo docker run hello world, then it will run perfectly fine. Okay, sorry, it's the docker. Oh, main thing main thing is what is it is saying is the docker daemon running. Okay, so whenever you will install docker, you have to start it. So to command to start the docker daemon is systemctl start. Okay, and then docker, and one thing I forgot, that is sudo Okay, so right now I have just started the Docker. So to check that, we can run command sudo. So you have to just remember some few Linux command, not that much, like how to start and stop the daemon and how to check the status of the daemon, and that is very simple, I think. Okay, so now you can see it is active and running. Okay, one thing is it is showing as disabled, so we have to enable as well. And why? Because if I reboot my system right now and then it will come up, it is again the Docker daemon will not be in the running state, it will again stop. Okay, so if you want to tell Linux or operating system that, and whenever the computer rebooted, just uh, run this daemon. Okay, so for to
So can we
Mhm.
not make it automatically?
Yes, yes, that I was showing. So to do that, I have to enable that daemon. Okay, so over here you can say it is showing as disabled. Okay, it means whenever the computer will reboot, it is not going to start automatically. For to do that, we have to run sudo systemctl enable docker. Okay, now it is enabled. So if I check the status now, just press the up arrow and it will. Okay, so now you can see it is enabled. So if I reboot it, it will automatically run. Okay, so let's go to that command once again. So now if I run docker run hello world, so again now you can see permission denied, right? That I was talking about, that we need root user to talk to the daemon. So if I run sudo docker docker and then run hello world, so this hello world is not a name of the container, it is an image that is using that is going to run that container. Okay, so I am not specifying the name. So now if I run with sudo, it will going to run perfectly fine. Okay, so it is running, and this is the output of that container. Okay, so the thing is I'm not means every time I have to use sudo. So how to just get rid of it? So what we have to do, we have to add your user to a docker group. Okay, the docker group is automatically created when we have installed the docker. Okay, so the command is sudo user mod, means we are modifying the user and adding to the group, and group name is docker, and to which user, it is a cloud user, this is the name of the user. Okay, so when we have modified the user, we have to log it, log off and then log in. So let me log off. Okay, and then if I just reconnect, so that command is to show you the difference after adding the cloud user to the docker group. So now if I run simple docker run hello world, now you can see we don't have to write sudo in front of docker. Okay, so the we have to add that user to the Docker group, that you have to remember. Okay. Now, so first thing is, whenever you are new to the environment, you want to know the version, which version it is running. So the command is docker version to check the version. So now you can see we have a client that on which we are right now fighting the commands. So this is version 18.09 that we have installed, and then this is the docker engine. Okay. And second command is docker info. I want to check the information of the docker. So it will give you some detail about the docker. Okay. So how many containers are running? You can see two containers, one that is used by sudo, and then I have just run that again hello world. So we have two containers, one image that is hello world that we have just uh, pulled from the hub.docker.com, and then those are
So
in, yeah,
these two container created in this image, right?
yes, using the same image.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then the server version that we have shown. Then this is the thing that was talking about device mapper. The storage driver is used is device mapper. So we have to install that dependency, right, that we have installed on the first command, device mapper persistent data, and the second is lvm2. That is also, if we don't install lvm2, that will also work, because in this scenario we are not using lvm2. That is also a storage driver. Okay, so those things I will talk later. And this is the uh, data file where our data is going to store, and file system is xfs. So actually mostly it is the detail about your node, means on which your docker is running. Okay. So volume, there is no volumes, we have a local, we are going to install local volumes. So you know, this is the simple information. If you want, if you want to check on your node, you can run docker info command. Okay, let's go to the container. So now I will show you the commands that is going to use to handle the container. So first command we have just, so you have just seen, that is docker run hello world. So I want to explain what is going to happen when we run docker run hello world. So let me just delete that image first. Okay. So here is the question. So if I want to delete that image, docker image, so command is very simple. What I have to do, I have to delete the image. So why I am deleting? Because I just want to show you from the scratch once again, like, okay, so how when we run that docker run hello world, what happens. So for that I have to just delete that image, so I can show you from the starting. Okay, otherwise there is one step that we will miss. So docker image, and then I have to delete that image. So I will use docker rm, and then which image. So first I want to check like how many images I have on my system. So the same thing that is used for the linux, that is ls, to list the directory. So if you want to list anything, means image, container, volumes, for any everything, you have to just use ls if you want to list it. Okay. So you will find the docker commands are very easy to understand and remember. So docker image ls, so we have this hello world image, and I want to delete it. So we have a docker image, and then rm for remove. We are also use rm for to remove the file. Okay, so you can see this if you have some exposure to the Linux simple commands, then you will easily able to understand, I will learn very quickly. So I will just paste that name, and if I hit enter, let's see what is going to happen. So now you can see we have a error response from daemon. Why? Because we have a container that is in a stopped state, but still I am not able to remove that image. Okay, because that is used by, if you can see here, it referenced image. Okay, container, this is using its referenced image. Okay, so still this image, this container is in stopped state, but you cannot delete any image. Okay, so first, if you have to delete the container, and then you can delete that image. So I want to list container, so what I will do, docker container, and then I want to list it, so just ls. Okay, but what happened, there is no container. So when you run this command docker ls, it will show the running container. Okay, so to view all the containers, you have to write this hyphen a flag, means all I want to list all the containers, right? So we have two containers, this two container that is in exit state, means stopped state, but it is referencing this image. Okay, so let me give you one example of virtual machine. So when we are creating a virtual machine, we need a one ISO image. Okay, so don't take it as a ISO image, because when you install a operating system using that image, you can just pull it out, means you can remove that image and your operating system will work fine. But here is not the case. Here you cannot delete that image, because when any container is running, it is using that image at the real time. Okay, so that is the thing, we are not able to remove that image. Okay, first we have to remove the container. So now just remember one thing, means when we are running a container, actually the container is a writable image. You have to just remember this line, container is a writable image, means you can write it in that image. So when I will show you how to flatten the image, and how to export it, and how to make our own image with the, like, in real scenario, we create a template, okay, to uh, initialize any operating system very quickly. Okay, so for DB servers, they have their templates, and they already configure the virtual machine in that, in which way they want to be the operating system. Okay, so same thing is here. If you want to modify that image, and then you want to make it your own image, you can do it. So you have to run a container, you have to make the changes, and then you have to just export it as an image. So those things we will learn. Okay, so let me delete this container first. So docker container, I have to delete it. So rm, so these container are already in stopped state. Okay, so I can remove it, but if it is in running, then first I have to stop. So that command is just container stop. Okay, and second thing, if you somehow forget that what is next after container. Okay, so if you just hit enter after container, it will show you. So help is very good, means you don't have to at least specify that I need help. Just if you just hit enter, it will show you what should be the next command. So we can attach, commit, cp, copy, it means, and then we can, this is for list, this is to pause the container, prune means remove all the stopped container. So right now I can run this command as well. Okay, docker container prune. It means these two containers are already in stopped, so it will just remove it. So I don't have to write docker rm and then specify this container id. Okay, but if I using this docker rm, then I have to tell the docker which container I have to remove. Okay, so let me show you both the commands. So if I run docker, let me clear the screen first. So docker container list the container hyphen a. Okay, so these are two containers. So first I will show you docker container rm. So if I want to delete this container, I have to copy the id, or you can copy the name as well. So docker rm this. Okay, so it is removed, but still we have one more. Okay, so but if have multiple containers that is in stopped state and we want to remove those containers, then you can run docker container prune. Okay, it will, it is asking this will remove all stopped container. Are you sure? Yes.
Yeah, Sarabjit,
Yep.
hello.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Go
Uh,
ahead.
you have just deleted a container ID. If you are going to delete image with a hello world, so what will be the impact? I mean, what will be
Okay,
the result?
so do you want me to write hello world instead of this id?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so that is the thing. Because if you run this Docker container RM and then you will see write hello world, okay, so it is just
Hmm.
you will get an error that there is no container with this name, because the container is asking you to provide the container ID, or here you can see the name. Can you see this? This is the name, right? So we are, what we are doing right now, we are removing the container. So there is no relation between this image and the container. So right now I am removing container. So I have to give the ID of the
So
container.
so
Yeah.
instead of container ID, we can put names
Yes, yes. That
previous.
yes, I can specify this name. You can see over here. So when you are running any container without any name, because name is the optional in while you are running any container. Okay, so if you are not going to tell the docker that we need this name, it is just going to pick any random name. So when one time means in the last session I have created one container. So the docker has given the name of the container is Chatterjee, and I was just, oh, India is there. So it takes any random name from the anything. So mostly we actually specify the name. So I will show you how to specify that and how we will run that. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. Are you clear with the means, have I answered your question?
Yes, 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 yes. Instead of going to name, go to the container ID. So container
Yes,
ID
yes.
is already present. Okay.
Yes, you can go through the container as well as name, but you cannot give this hello image. This is the name of the image, not the container. Okay, so it is using this image to run this container. Okay, so when you are removing the container, you have to give the container ID or container name. Okay, and if you want to
So
remove all, uh-huh.
so everything will be removed when I remove the container ID, whatever in this container.
Yes, yes, yes. That we will learn how to protect our data. Okay. So that is
Okay.
in when we will learn the volumes and the storage. Then I will show you how
Mhm.
to save our data to the different location. And if something something bad happens to this container, our data is safe. Okay. So that we will learn further.
Yeah, or is there any command to remove image? Only I want to remove image. So is there
Yes,
any
yes, yes, that I
command
will.
or
Yes, yes, that is actually our target is to remove that image, right? Okay. So first command that I have shown you, that was Docker image rm and then the name of the image. But we have a error. Okay. So what was the error? It was saying that the container is already referencing this image. So that I was showing, like, if you want to delete any image, make sure you there is no container is attached. Okay, means there is no container in any state, means it might be in stop, it might be in running. So there should not be any container that is referencing that image. Okay. So if there is
okay?
no container referencing that image, then you can remove that image. Okay. So first, what I have done is I have just uh, remove one container, and the second command, that is prune, it will remove all the containers. Just imagine a situation where you have 10 container that is in stopped state and you want to remove it. So you have to specify all the container id of those containers. So instead of that, you can use container prune. Okay, so it will remove all the container that is in stopped state. But it is, you should be very careful while doing this, because you get this warning, this will remove all the stopped container. So please verify first, like all the stopped containers are not in use, means you are not going to use in future. Okay, so that you have to remember. So our main target was to delete the image. So now there is no container. If I The shortcut to check the container is docker ps hyphen a. So without ps, it will show the running one, and if you want to show all, you have to docker ps a, because in the background every container is running as a process. So this is a ps command to check the process. Okay, so this is the alternative way to check the running containers as well as the stopped containers. So you can use this container ls command, as well as docker ps and docker ps hyphen a. Okay, now we are going to delete the we have just deleted container, not the image. So just remember, docker image ls, we have the hello world image, and I want to delete it. So docker image rm, the same command. So you can see, whenever I have to delete anything, I have to just specify, means I have to give the name what I have to delete. I have to delete image, so docker image, and what to do, remove, and which. So I want to delete this hello world. Okay, same thing will happen with the volumes, same with the network. So that is the very easy thing to remember. Okay, so now you can see we are successfully deleted the image. Okay, so let's start with there is no image on my system. So docker image ls. Okay, there is no image. So now I will show you, when we are running this docker run hello world, right? So what will happen if I run this command? So this this will happen. Okay, this thing I have to show. So when I run docker run, it will I am running on the client. It will make a API call to the daemon, and then it will pull the image from the hub.docker.com. Why? Because image is not present locally. If I run this command before removing that image, then it will run from the local image. Okay, because it will
So
find the
Sarabjit, we have to create the image and put the Docker Hub .com or whatever.
yeah. So If you are creating your own image, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
you have to push it to this this hub.docker.com, okay. And by default there are many images already present on hub.docker.com that I have shown.
Okay, so this hello world image is the default image in the hub.docker.com,
Yes, can you see my
or you have created?
no, I haven't
Yes, I
created
can
any
see.
image right now. Yes,
Okay,
so here you can see this is the official image, okay.
okay.
So
So this is the official image, and two container is also default in this image, right?
no, that container we are creating.
Okay,
So we are creating the container using this image. So image is publicly available, but container is mine. Okay, means whenever I want to create, I want to create many containers. I can means with the same image I can create multiple images. Okay, and this hub.docker.com has no
okay.
relation with the container, with just with the image. Okay, so we can also create our own image, okay, that we will do, okay. But mostly,
So is image is the operating system or anything else?
oh yeah, correct question. So this is not right now, this is an image that has nothing, okay. It don't have any operating system, okay. This is just to test, okay. So that I am going to explain you, okay. So first, when we run this docker run and hello world, so hello world is the image name. If I run hello world 23 for some random name, okay, so I have put 235. So most probably there is no any image with that name. So let's hit enter. I hope there should not be any image. So first thing it is showing unable to find image locally, okay. So first your docker client, docker daemon will search on your host that image is present or not. If not, then it will go to the uh, hub.docker.com and it will search that image on the hub.docker.com. If it is not present there, then again you cannot run that container, okay. So now I have put this 235, but it is showing full access denied for hello 235 because it might be there 235, but most of the time the 235, this hello world 235 image is not present on hub.docker.com as well. Got it my point? So if you
Yes.
specify any random image name, then it is not going to run. But I know there is a image called hello world. So using that image, I can run the container. So now I will give you all the details about this, means how we can give more information while running the container. So first thing, I can give it a name, right? Before I haven't given any name, so it is just taken any random name and it will run the container because it is optional. So I want to run this hello world image and the container name should be my first container. Okay, so docker run name my first container, and this container, how it will run, it will use this hello world image, okay. So when I hit enter, it will create one container, and you can see it is, you can say unable to find image locally. So it is the image is not present. Then it will pull it from the hub.docker.com, and then what is inside that image. So this is the data that is inside the image. So this image is, means it doesn't have any operating system, you can say. It has just a simple there is a short means it is using any operating system in the terms of it is containerized operating system. Okay, so if you search for the operating system over here, so you can search Ubuntu. Okay, so there is a image called Ubuntu, that is a official image. So this operating system will run as a container. So I will show you. So this hello world is, it will use a, base image, and then it will just echoing this data like we do it normally on with using echo command. Echo hello bird. Okay, so when we run this command, what happened, it is just giving that same output. So you will understand how it works when I will show you to how to create a Docker file. That is our next target. Okay, so just remember, we are running this container using this image, and this image is on hub.docker.com. Okay, and it pulls that image from hub.docker.com, and then it run that container. Okay, so now if I first I will check there, just there was no image when I have run that docker run command. Okay, so now if I check docker image ls, you can see there is a image hello world. So it will present forever if you don't delete it. Okay, it will be on your system if you don't delete it. So next time if I run one more container with the same image, but the name is different, I want to run, because there is no container with the same name. Okay, name should be different. So if I run docker run, name should be the second container. Okay, and I want to run this container using the same image hello world. Okay, so just remember earlier we have, oh that is gone. Okay, so when we have
So
run this,
Sarabjit,
yes,
just a quick question on this. So
yes,
now this image hello world has come down to our daemon, to the Docker daemon,
yeah, means it is
because
come down to our host. Okay, so it is stored on the host, not with the daemon. Okay, so daemon first will check on your host that that image is present on
Mhm.
your host or not.
So that exactly the daemon. I mean, what exactly the daemon do is it first checks whether the image is there in a host or not. If it is not there in a
Yes,
host, then it will refer to the hub.
go to, yeah, correct.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Na? Yeah.
So
Super.
now
Thank you.
if I, you're welcome. So now if I run this container once more time, now you will see the output. Okay. Earlier you were seeing there is a pop-up that was showing that unable to find the image locally, right? I hope you have remembered that. So here we have a message that was saying that the image is not present locally. Okay, but this time the image is already there, so we didn't get that message. It is just using that image, and the image has this data on it, and this is just echoing that data to the screen, nothing else. So once it is completed, it is just exit. Okay, so that is the reason there is no running container right now. Okay, because it just work, and whatever the container have to do, it just does its work and then exit. So there is a container in exited mode, means these are the stopped containers. So this is one, my first container, and this is the second container. Okay, I hope so. Anyone have any question on this till now, because next we are going to create image.
Yeah, Sarabjit, Shishir here. So,
Yes,
to stop and start, I mean, to stop the container, did you use the stop command?
yes, no.
Might have.
Right now I haven't used the stop command because when
Then
you
how did the container get stopped?
yeah, that is, every image has its own command in it. Okay, so when I will show you the Docker file, I will tell you where is the command. Okay, so it container has that date, means the whatever it is written in the image, it will do that work and then just exit. Okay, got
No,
it my point? So
that's right.
let
But
me
yeah,
let me
I got you.
let me show you one container that will run forever. Okay, and then I will show
Okay,
you how
okay.
to stop it, right? So
Sure.
this container has that functionality to show that data only. Okay, but let's talk about one image, that is nginx. So nginx is a web server, right, for Linux. So I want to run nginx as a container. Okay, so if I run docker run, and then I will give the name docker run web app. Okay, and I want to run this container with the image nginx. Okay, this is the image. So let me show you that image on hub.docker.com. So it will first go to the official image. If it doesn't uh, search that official image, then it will go for some different, these are the images that is created by some other, by nginx demos, nginx. Okay, so these are created by different users and groups, community, but this is the official image. Okay, that is uh, designed by those who is working on nginx. So now if I run this docker run, and the name of the container is web app, and then the nginx, the image name. So if I don't specify any version, like which version I want to run, so by default it will run latest one. Okay, but if you want a specific version to run, then you have to specify this, give the name of the tag. So by default it will run this latest one, but if you want to run this mainline alpine pearl, this version or this version, and alpine pearl, so these are the versions of that nginx. Okay, so if you want to run those, you have to give it over here. So after nginx you have to give that version. So if I want to run this one, I have to just copy this, and you can copy it from here, docker pull, and then the image name, and then nginx, this is the colon, and then the version name. So right now I want to run it with the latest one, so I not give it any tag to this image. So if I hit enter again, please notice over here, okay, the first line, you can see unable to find image, because we have only one image, that is hello world. Okay, so this time again it is going to hub.docker.com, and it is downloading that image from there, and it will run it. So now you can see this container will run forever, because in the image the command is mentioned to don't turn off that nginx. Okay, so it will continue, you will not get any prompt. Okay, you can see, so it is running. So to force stopped it, I have to use control c. Okay, and now you have the question like what is the meaning. Okay, because you want the prompt, you have to do some other works as well. Okay, so let me just show you the image. Now we have a docker image ls. So now you can see we have nginx image as well. Okay, okay, so now the question is, if I want to work on that image on the command prompt, and I want that container to be running in the background as well, so what is the command for that? Okay, so for that you have to write docker run and then hyphen d. It means detach mode. Run this container in detach mode, means in the background. Okay, and I want to give it a name, and name is a detach container. And then which image I want to use? I want to use Nginx, same image. And the other thing is to expose the port. Okay, we have to expose the port as well to access this container, because it is a web server, so there should be something running, means we can access that data. So how I will access that? Okay, so there is a port. So in Nginx it will run on port 80, because by default it runs on port 80, right? So what I will do, I will expose the port after name. So I have given the name detach container, and to expose the port I have to write hyphen p. So in our host I want to map 8080. So this is the port of on my host. So this is 8080 on my host, and then the container port is port 80. So I have mapped my 84 port 8080 to the container port 80. Okay, so when I will run localhost colon 8080, it will go to this nginx container. So means this container. Okay, this is the image. So this is the container, so it will go to this container. So whatever is running on this container, I can access that. Okay, so by default there is a nginx page. Okay, that is html nginx page. So let me run this container. Okay, now you will just get this id of that container. Okay, so now if I run docker ps, you will get one container that is in running state. Okay, this is a detached container. Okay, and this command is running. Okay, so daemon of OFF, that is hide, but OFF, the command is nginx hyphen g daemon off. Okay, so this command will tell that container to run continuously, means the daemon of nginx is not going to stop, it will run continuously. You can see it is uh, means it is mapped to the port 8080 on the host, and to the container with port 80. So we are accessing port 80 to with on the container it is port 80, and on host it is port 8080. So right now you can see 0.0.0.0. It means anyone can access this container, but if you want to give a permission like this. Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Sarabjit.
I think
Actually, I got a call, so it might be there is a network connection issue. Okay, so let's go. Then it's the container is running, so I want to access it. So how will I will access it? Okay.
Hello, Sarabjit.
Yes.
Sandeep here. One question. When we are, pulling an image from docker.hub.docker. So, does it by default creating a container, or who is
No, no,
creating a
no, no.
container? Means,
No. Here is the thing. Okay. If you run this command docker run, okay, then
Mhm.
it will pull the image automatically. But if you want the image, just you want to download locally. Okay, just If you want to download locally, you don't want to run any container, then you have to use
Mhm.
this command, docker pull. Okay, so it will not run any container, it will just download this image locally, okay, on your host. So it
Okay.
is not like when you are pulling the image it is running the container, it is like you are running the container, so it is pulling that image from the hub.docker.com because it is not present locally. Got it my point?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's thing means image is whenever we are running that container, then it will pull the image. Okay. So if you want to just pull that image and you want to use it in a Docker file, then you can just run docker pull and then image name, so that you can get it from here. Okay. So I want to access because by default Nginx if you,
Sarabjit,
yes,
Sarabjit, I have a question. Shishir here.
yes,
See, seconds or few minutes back, you put a command like docker run hyphen name web
yes.
app Nginx. I understand Nginx is a name of a image, but why do we use this web app? Do we have, I mean, any kind of thing like we have to prefix or suffix before
No, no,
putting
no, no,
the
no. That
image name?
no, 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 no. Just actually, that was the name of the container. Okay. So here I have just given name and detached container. So now you can see here the name is detached container. Okay. So that image was stopped, container was stopped. So let me show you. So you can see this is the name of the container. Okay. That we give. There is no suffix or prefix. Got it?
Okay, okay, yes.
Yeah. So whenever I am giving that hyphen hyphen name and then this name, this means I am giving means explicitly I am giving the name to the container. By default, it will take some random, but I for my purpose means I want to understand like which container it is running, so I want to give it a name. Okay, so now this container is running. Okay, uptime is 4 minutes. So I want to access that container. So how I can access? I can using this port because it is a web server. I can access it from the browser. So what I will do, I have a public IP of that host. So this is the public IP. So I will give this public IP. You can see this. This is the public IP of my host. Okay. And then I
Yes.
have exposed the port 80. So I will provide the port 8080. Okay. So when I telling port 8080, it will go to that container. Okay. Because remember, there is no Nginx running right now on my system. So if I run sudo system ctl status and then nginx, okay, service not found, because nginx is not running on my system, it is running as a container. Okay, so remember this. So if I am accessing this on port 8080, actually it is redirecting to this container. So where it is? Okay, so if I hit enter, you can see welcome to nginx. So this is the container. So what you will do, you will use this Nginx as a base image, and then you will create your own web application. Means you have to specify the data of your application, and that I am going to show you. So I hope you guys have a time about half an hour, and more than that might it might take 1 hour. So you guys have that time, okay?
No, no, Sarabjit will continue next session. I mean, in Sunday, if it is okay.
Okay, so if you guys can disconnect, you can. But if everyone can not manage this session uh, further, then just let me know. So we all be on the same page, and we will continue this Docker file tomorrow on the same time. Is it okay with all of you? Let me see how many are there. Say about 10
Okay, sir.
participants are there. So is it okay with everyone?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will show you. So what we have completed. Let me uh, just show you. So we have completed this one, and then installation of Docker, and we have run the first container, okay, and with the different flags as well. So second was the Docker file, and we are creating our own image, okay. So right now you can see this welcome to Nginx. I have to replace this page with my own creation. Okay, I have some HTML file that I will give in the image. So I will create my own image with the Docker file. I will put my data, means my application, to that Nginx. Okay, so thanks for joining. So we will continue
So,
with two
Sarabjit,
topics
in
tomorrow.
this
Yeah.
session, you have not shown how to create the container, right?
Sorry. Come up.
How to create the containers.
No, actually, we are creating these. These are the containers. We are creating these containers. Means we are running the container. We will create image. Okay.
Okay,
Actually,
so
we run
we will
container,
create the image.
huh, and then we will run the container using that image, means which we've created. Right? Got it?
So, like detached container is the container name, right?
Yes. Detached container is a container.
So, when we create this detached container,
When we run this command, this docker run -d, when we are
okay.
running this
So,
command, we are creating
when
a,
we run this command, then detached container will run this
yes,
image.
yes, it will create a container using this
-d
image.
hyphen name detached container. Okay,
And this is the port we have exposed, and this is the image. Okay, so this is a base
got
image.
it, got it.
This is a base image. Tomorrow we will learn, like, this is not useful. What we actually do, we install Nginx, but we put our own application, right? Means we
Hmm.
replace the files, okay, on the server. So tomorrow we will replace, or how we will replace those files, how to copy in the image, okay, because container, to run the container you need a image, okay.
Okay.
So that is the thing,
So,
means
what
what,
time for tomorrow?
sorry, what
No, no, go
time?
ahead. Yes, yes.
Time is
For
the same.
tomorrow session.
If it is, this time is okay, then the time will be same, 3 to
Okay,
5. 3 to 5, I think
okay.
2 hours it takes almost, because if we just go 1 hour, then you will, it will take about months, yes, 1 or 2 months to cover. So
Okay.
if you can adjust about 2 hours, you just give me 2 hours, then I will complete it in 8 weekends, means about 8 days, 8 to 10 days.
Sure,
So
Sarabjit.
just, I want this type of interactive session, like you are asking the question. So I request all the participants who are joining that please ask questions, because I know you have some questions. So please ask. Don't hesitate to ask the questions, because that I want to clear. Here I want to just clear those confusion, right? Because you can learn these things from anywhere. Everything is available on the internet, but the main thing
Yeah,
is
Sarabjit.
someone need to clarify those confusion that you have. Okay, so
And I am
tomorrow,
good. This session
Okay, sir.
is very good and very helpful for to understand the Docker.
yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Hello, hello,
Uh,
Sarojit.
Sarvjit, Sarvjit,
yes.
Sarvjit.
Yeah, yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. First of all, thank you for this such a wonderful interactive session. I would request you to share us the link of the recording so that would be a preparedness for tomorrow's session, so that we can
Yeah,
refer
sure,
and
I will do that.
And
thank.
Sarabjit, if you have document for this session today, then if you can share, that would be good.
Yes, yes. Actually, that I have to create, so I will create that in big days, and I
Okay,
will share. Okay. So don't
no
worry
problem.
about
Yeah,
commands and all the things that I am going to share with you surely. So just try to
okay.
understand. Means it is going to be a demo session. Okay. It is not like just I
Yeah,
am sitting, using the PPT, because daily I have to show all the commands and everything. Okay. It is a
okay.
demo
Yeah,
remember. So it is good. Just last request, if you can go to the Katakoda website, and whatever the commands we have run, you can run it over here, and then you can learn some new commands as well. Okay. So if you don't able to understand the command, just write it down, and we will discuss in tomorrow session. Okay.
yeah.
So sorry, we are not
Okay.
able to cover that Docker file because it is about 2 hours already. So don't worry. I hope you guys
No
some
problem.
get some more details. Okay, who has joined second time? So your expectation was on Docker file, but don't worry. I will cover that. Actually, I want to be all of you on the same page. So from tomorrow, I
Yes.
guess please don't miss the session because it is very difficult to cover those sessions. Okay. Most probably, I will share the link, but I request to join the session from tomorrow. So, just one thing, last thing. This is going to 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. for next 8 weekends. Okay, about 8 weekends. So, 3 to 5 p.m. on Saturday. Oh,
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so I hope
Yep.
you got some information about Docker. So we can hang up now. Thanks for your time.
Hello,
Bye bye.
Sarabjit.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abhijit.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Sarojit.
you,
Bye.
Yeah.
Kazi,
Yeah.
for
Chris.
the session. Yeah.
Sarabjit,
Yes.
I wanted to ask
Mm-hmm.
this in the Docker client and the Docker daemon,
Mm-hmm.
are they both installed on the same machine?
Yes. Yes.
And if there is a setup, we can install it on different machine as well. Docker on different
Yes.
machine, isn't
Yes.
it?
That you can do. That you can do. But the thing is, you have correct network setup with that. Okay. Because you have to give that on which node you have to run that container. Okay, so most probably, actually, we install Docker client on the machine where we have a Docker daemon is installed. Okay, because like we have a VM. Okay, so for that we have some client that is putty.
Hmm.
We can use that one, but for container, I think it is little bit difficult, but I'm not sure. You have a good question, like we can install those things on the different host or not, but
Hmm.
I have to search on
As
the
we
Google.
as we install Git and as we have Git and GitHub,
Yes, 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 correct. So we
like that.
can install it on the different machine and client on the
Uh,
different machine, because we have a Git server. Okay, so
uh,
we have to just connect with that Git server, and then we can run the command from our host as well.
okay. Hmm.
So yes, you have a good question that I will search on. Okay, actually, this session is big on this interactive session, because everyone has the different thing and everyone thinks differently. So that is the main reason to give this session. So I can also learn, because I am also learning. Be frank with you, I am also learning. Okay, I am not 100% sure, but I have that much knowledge that I can at least share with who has nothing knowledge about Docker at all. Okay, so I can say I'm at intermediate level, but not expert. So I want to be expert. So for that, I want to give that session. So it is very good to give the suggestion, and whether that's I'm saying that please ask questions whatever you have in your mind, because just don't think I know everything. Okay, so if you have any question just ask, because I have only 3 years experience. So you my guys, you have more than me experience, more than me, then you probably have most worked on the infrastructure side. So you have some understanding, like yeah, I have to do this, so how I can do it with the Docker. So those question you can put it over here, and then I will try to understand, and I will try to figure it out, how we can do it, and I will show you if I can, or else I will at least explain you how we can do this. Okay, if possible. If not possible means, if we cannot do that, then I will say you that we cannot do that. But if it is possible, I will surely go to the Google and search, and there is a docs.docker.com, that is documents available. You can go to that as well for more deep knowledge, but those links I will share. So I think
Okay.
this is good to go for today lesson. Okay.
Okay, sure.
So Chris, do you have the time?
Now,
Yes, means if you have, you can continue, and I will show you some different things as well if you have,
yes.
because else we will continue tomorrow, because you will get 2 times, so you will
Mm.
learn little bit better. So so if you have time, you can, because I also, it's the 5 o'clock, so I think we should wrap up. We will
Yeah,
talk tomorrow.
I have time
Okay.
if it's not a problem with you.
No, I think I should not continue now, because it is 2 hours, and I'm feeling a little bit tired.
Okay, okay, sure, no
Really.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Mm.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, then bye.
Bye bye.